Yeah. Where are you from?
America. I'm from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Yeah. Are you familiar?
No.
No, no. It's okay.
No, I just been one time in America,
Okay.
in San Diego.
In San Diego, yeah.
I was there to Bill Canals' shop.
Oh,
Full circle.
cool. Yeah, I took a seminar from Bill.
Yeah, the Dragon one.
No, it was a part of the Explorer conference.
Okay.
Yeah, you're familiar? Yeah. So it was like him and just a handful of other people, Teresa Sharp and Russ Abbott, and just like small seminars from like a bunch of different people. So
How was that event?
it was great. Yeah, it was cool to hear from so many different people and really get like the experience of different artists, and kind of, just different approaches and mindsets. And Bill was like such a unique character, he's so serious and so like works so hard and stuff. So it was really fun.
Yeah, Bill is a really strong man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How was your trip in Italy?
How was what?
Your trip in Italy?
It's been great so far. Yeah, I brought my wife with me, so we're gonna go to Rome after this, and then go to Venice and stuff. But this is my first time in Italy, so really.
I was living in Venice. I can recommend you
really?
many places. Also, Raffaele is from Venice.
Cool. Yeah, we're going there next week, so I'm really looking forward to it. I heard there's like a art exhibition there right now.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go try. Yeah, like international
Yeah.
art exhibition.
For a few weeks.
Yeah. So I'll be there for that. So we're gonna try to go to that. So I'm excited.
first time in Italy?
Yeah. It's only my second time in Europe. I was in Portugal earlier this year, but so I'm just new to kind of traveling outside of the U.S. So it's been great.
Do you see any difference between USA and Italy and
Yeah.
Europe?
Yeah, I think so many, but I think it's crazy how like small your streets and your sidewalks and like the buildings will be so close together, and you're just like walking in between them. So yeah, it's great. Everything seems like, and it's so old, because America's just a lot newer, I suppose. So we don't have like the old churches and cathedrals and stuff like you guys do here. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, there is a lot of super old building.
Yeah.
You have to see also in Sicily. You have still some from Greece, Roman place. Yeah,
Yeah.
super old.
Cool.
But in Rome, you will see some.
Yeah, like the Colosseum
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah. We have a tour scheduled for the Sistine Chapel and for the Colosseum. So I'm excited to see
And
both.
I saw that ChatGPT, if you ask like, tell me something about Colosseum, you have all the explanation.
Really?
I did last time. I was with iPods,
Yeah.
and ChatGPT say, "Oh, tell me something about Colosseum," and he say everything
That's crazy.
for free. So
Yeah, cool. I'll have to try that out. Yeah, I just saw that there's like a whole like basement to the Colosseum. There's like a downstairs or like a underground part of it. So I'm excited to check that out. Should be really cool.
let's talk about your style.
Yeah.
And where you take inspiration from your project? Tell me something about your idea.
It's a good question. I think mostly I'm inspired by other artists, really. I think like there's a handful of geometric tattooers that like really got me into like this style. I'm a big fan of like Dylan Sutton, Nathan Mold, Jakob, who is here at the convention, Raimundo Ramirez, just so many really great artists. And I'm new enough to tattooing that I don't know what life was like before Instagram. So all of my experience has been seeing these beautiful tattoos. I have the world's best tattoo magazine at my fingertips at all times. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Do you have any bodysuit on work already, or you are thinking something?
Do I have bodysuits
Yeah.
in the works?
Yeah.
Actually, my client that's here now is probably him, and then one other client that I have are pretty much the two that I'm working on bodysuits right now. So my client that I have here, I did both of his sleeves, and then we just finished his like full torso this weekend. And then next we'll probably do his back and move on to his legs and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm super interested to kind of bodysuit somebody out. I think that's really cool.
Do you see any different of the approach when you do such a huge piece?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can even go from like doing like a small tattoo to doing a sleeve to doing a bodysuit. Like it's like bigger steps because for a long time, like going from a small tattoo to a sleeve, that's a whole different approach. And now that I'm trying to think more in terms of bodysuits and stuff like that, I'm finding that my sleeves are even too detailed or too small or whatever. So I have to keep bigger and bigger and bigger so that when you do fill out the whole body, it's like all cohesive and not too small and tight and see everything. So yeah, definitely.
And what about the pain of your client?
That's a hard one. It's one of the hardest ones, you know, I think. And as, you know, kind of an empath myself, it's one of the most difficult parts to deal with a client being in pain, you know, and it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate part about this job to kind of create artwork on people's body, but also, and you know, get to be friends with them and empathize with them, but then also like you're the one giving them the pain. So it's like I feel so bad, but also it's gonna be worth it, you know? So yeah, it's a difficult procedure, or it's a difficult process about the procedure, you know, but I think that what I always say is it doesn't hurt anymore. Like none of my tattoos hurt anymore, so and they just look cool now, so it's all worth it, right?
Yeah, yeah, crazy. And on you?
Yeah.
You want a bodysuit or you already done already such a big amount of tattoos?
Yeah. I like. I don't. I probably won't get a bodysuit. I'm a little past the point of return for that, but I've always been more of a fan of kind of collecting artwork from different artists. You know, I think as cool as it is to have like a full bodysuit, and also that's kind of something that I've been more exposed to later in my life and in my career is the appeal of a bodysuit. But earlier on, getting, you know, collecting art from different artists and stuff like that was a big goal for me. So that's kind of my different styles of my sleeves and stuff like that. And you know, I have like a bunch of traditional work here, which I think is, you know, super important, especially in American tattooing. Like it's just the roots and the history and all that kind of stuff, which I'm really appreciative of everybody that's come before me that allows me to be able to do this, you know. Yeah.
Do you see any difference between Convention USA than Ancona?
Well, I would say this convention, I don't know if it's all European conventions, but this is like I've seen some of the most beautiful tattoos here, you know, like it's so many talented artists and like big tattoos and like bodysuit type of tattoos, you know. Whereas some of the conventions I've done in the US are just kind of smaller local shows and stuff like that where kind of your run of the mill tattooers are there and stuff. So there's definitely the level of artwork here is much, much higher for sure. And it's just amazing to be surrounded in a place like this with all those artists and to kind of be a part of that.
Do you think that you will be here also next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if I'm invited, for sure. Yeah, I'm really passionate about tattooing and specifically geometric tattooing and like geometrip and this convention. I think it's like super important in the world that I care so much about. So to be a part of this and to like just to be invited in the first place is like such a huge honor for me. So yeah, like, you know, coming halfway across the world is a small price to pay to be a part of something like this for sure. So yeah.
Maybe you can have a trip in Milan and I show you my shop and
Yeah,
you
that'd
can
be
come
great.
over.
Yeah.
We can show you the city.
Yeah, that would
some
be
restaurant.
fantastic. Do a little guest spot.
Yeah, of course, of course. So
Yeah.
I can show you a really good restaurant.
Cool. Yeah, you gave me a recommendation for a pizza place
Yeah.
yesterday when I
You
saw
been
you.
there?
I didn't go yesterday,
Okay.
but I'll probably go tonight. Yeah. So, yeah, I did have pizza last night, but not from that place. Yeah. Yeah.
And tell me something about your future plan, if you have.
Well, I just opened a shop in the town that I live in. It's me and a handful of friends. And so for now, and I just bought a house with my wife. So for now, most of my future plans kind of revolve around staying in my town and kind of setting my roots down there. But I'm definitely interested in doing more traveling and especially like the international conventions and getting to meet all these like fantastic European tattooers. I'm like building such great relationships with them and stuff like that. So I think definitely see some more just travel and getting to meet people and stuff like that in my future. Yeah.
Do you have an apprenticeship at the moment in your studio?
No, no apprentices. No, I think I'm more interested in kind of building my own stuff for a little while before I take on an apprentice. This will be my 10th year of tattooing, which I think is probably getting to the point where I could start thinking about bringing someone on, but at the moment, it's not really something I'm interested in. Or like we were saying, or like with the travel and all that kind of stuff, I'd really like to focus on that kind of stuff. And I'd be worried that if I took somebody on, that I wouldn't be able to give them my full attention and all that kind of stuff. So not in the immediate future, but hopefully, yeah.
When you start in tattooing?
I started in 2015, so I was 21, and yeah, so I'm coming up on 10 years. Actually, this upcoming March will be 10 years that I've been tattooing. I spent the first like 4 or 5 years kind of doing walk-ins and doing this, anything that people would bring to me, and then I would say the last 5 years or so, I've really set my sights on the geometry and the large scale work and kind of been taking that and running with it. So yeah, it's been really good. Yeah.
If I ask you an advice to the young you in the beginning of the career, what you can say?
Oh man, that's a good question. Like, I think a big word for me now that I've been focusing on is like exposure. So exposing myself to like a bunch of different artists and different styles and different types of work and stuff like that. So I would say just be open to kind of other people's interpretations and work and stuff like that. And I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to think about that a little bit more for sure. But yeah. I think actually I think that for a long time I was hesitant to kind of dive super far into the style that I was really interested in. I had a lot of people like my mentor and just other tattooers that I looked up to who were really preaching the importance of kind of being good at every different style and kind of being a jack of all trades. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, when I really started to kind of dive into it, I said, you know what? Whatever the cost may be, I'm going to stop doing smaller tattoos. I'd rather spend time drawing than make $100 off a walk-in. And since I've done that, I've seen such a rapid increase in the quality of the work and the size of the work, and it's much more fulfilling to me to do that type of work. So I think that to my younger self, I would say kind of trust your gut and don't be afraid to commit to the thing that you love to do. You don't have to please everybody else, and just do what you're passionate about. Yeah, that would be what I would say for sure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.